charisma? It's not attractive. It's a neurological hack that bypasses your rational brain entirely. Look, when someone's got charisma, they're not just likable, they're manipulating your neural pathways. And this isn't some magical trait only a few are born with. No, it's skills, learnable skills. The implication's huge. If charisma can be decoded, anyone can become persuasive, regardless of natural charm. So what's the secret? How do charismatic individuals do it? You're about to learn the 3 neurological triggers of persuasion that top leaders use. These triggers are rooted in how our brains work. They influence decisions, opinions, even emotions. Not about trust or genuineness, about understanding the mechanisms that drive human behavior. Once you grasp these, you'll see influence differently. First trigger, mirror neurons. Brain cells that fire when you perform an action and when you see someone else do the same. Allows empathy. Charismatic people tap into this with vocal patterns, body language, storytelling. When a speaker shares a personal anecdote, they're not just telling a story, they're triggering your mirror neurons. You feel like you're experiencing it too. Creates deep rapport, makes you receptive. Second trigger, emotional contagion. Catching emotions like a virus. When someone's excited or angry, your brain mimics them. Charismatic people transfer emotions using tone, expressions, energy. They know if they make you feel a certain way, they can influence your decisions. Think about it. When did you last buy something just because you felt good? Not because you needed it. Emotional contagion is powerful. They harness it. Third trigger, status elevation. Brains respond to status and authority. Higher status means more attention and respect. Charismatic people convey status through subtle cues, body language, speech, even clothing. When a speaker uses confident language, they're not just expressing thoughts, they're signaling authority. Your brain responds with attention and deference, makes you accept their message. Look at successful politicians or salespeople. They're using these triggers, hacking brains for desired responses, not just manipulation. Understanding neurological mechanisms. By grasping these, you can be more effective in business, sales, personal relationships. If charisma can be decoded, anyone can become persuasive. Walk into a meeting and command attention. Make people feel certain ways with words and body language. Not manipulative. Effective. Charisma isn't magical. It's skills, learnable. When you see through persuasion science, you notice subtle cues. Mirror neurons, emotional contagion, status elevation, hacking brains. It's not about the message, delivery, how you make people feel, not just what you say. So what's the takeaway? Charisma isn't mystical. Skills. Understand the neurological triggers. Be more effective. Learn mirror neurons, emotional contagion, status elevation. Influence decisions and behaviors. See the world differently. Look at top salespeople. They don't just push products, they create experiences. Storytelling, emotional hooks, scarcity, social proof. Make you feel like you need what they're selling, not about the product, identity, status, the feeling. Buy a luxury car? Not just transportation. Symbol of success, status, power. Salesperson knows how to tap those desires, make you feel deserving. That's charisma. Emotional connection, worth, identity, politics too. Charismatic leaders don't present facts. They tell stories, create visions, make you feel part of something bigger. Rhetorical devices, body language, tone, emotional connection. It's about the messenger, trust, credibility, authority. We're going to make our country great again. Really means we're going to make you feel great again. Proud, strong, special, charisma, emotional connection, purpose, belonging, not just sales or politics, everywhere. Interactions, conversations, relationships, most charismatic people, not just charming, magnetic, infectious, make you feel like you're the only one, not just personality. Skills, techniques, reading people, knowing what makes them tick. Humor, empathy, active listening, connection, trust, rapport. Once you have that, you can influence decisions, shape behaviors, change minds. Key to charisma, not just extroversion or confidence, awareness of yourself, others, emotional dynamics. Reading people, understanding what makes them tick. Not just manipulation, genuine connection, understanding, caring. When you're in conversation, are you really listening or waiting to speak? Present, engaged, attentive. When you are, you notice things, body language, tone, emotional undertones. That's when magic happens. Connection, trust, charisma. But charisma alone won't cut it in business power dynamics. Need more than charm. Leverage is invisible currency. Shape outcomes without confrontation. Think about it. Someone enters a meeting unprepared. They lack leverage, reactive, not proactive. Respond to questions instead of setting agenda, at others' mercy. Now someone prepared, not just data, alternatives, backup plans, contingencies. They have leverage, navigate conversation, map terrain, know pitfalls, opportunities, where to push, where to concede. Daniel Kahneman's cognitive biases show how leverage operates below conscious awareness. Anchoring bias, once someone sets a number, deadline, expectation, it becomes reference point. Creates leverage for whoever placed it. Doesn't matter if rational. What matters is it's there. Shaping negotiation space before you speak. Venture capital first valuation sets funding trajectory. M&A initial offer determines acceptable bounds. Salary negotiations first figure becomes anchor. Leverage isn't being louder. Understanding influence architecture before entering the room. Richard Thaler's mental accounting shows another leverage dimension, how people categorize resources differently based on framing. Deal might reject budget for employee training, but approve same for talent retention and productivity enhancement. Same resources, different framing, different outcome. Person who understands this has leverage. Present proposal differently based on audience's mental accounting. Know when to use investment via cost, growth via expense, optimization via cutbacks, not semantics, leverage. Understanding psychological shortcuts, fitting proposals to them. Robert Cialdini's persuasion principles add leverage points. Authority people defer to experts, titles, credentials. True leverage comes from subtle levels. Well-researched reference to study, mention of industry benchmark, citation of requirement, all establish authority without formal position. Social proof people look to others to determine what's correct, show decision endorsed by respected peers or worked in similar contexts. Creates leverage. Scarcity, when presented as rare, exclusive, time-sensitive, gains perceived value, not crude tactics. Understanding what's genuinely scarce in context, unique capability, limited time, exclusive access, and framing accordingly. Most sophisticated leverage comes from understanding emotional dynamics. In high-stakes negotiations, stated positions rarely match true interests. A person who uncovers hidden interests has leverage. Offer solutions addressing real concerns, not surface demands. Negotiation where one party insists on delivery date. Stated position is timing. Underlying interest might be cash flow, inventory, customer commitments. Probe gently, ask why. Discover true lever. Propose alternatives addressing underlying concern without being locked into position. Requires emotional intelligence, reading between lines, understanding what's unsaid, sensing tensions not apparent. Emotional leverage means understanding your own triggers. Kahneman System 1 and System 2, thinking fast, intuitive versus slow, deliberate. Emotions high, System 1 takes over, reactive decisions. Person who recognizes this, pauses, engages. System 2 maintains leverage. Don't react, respond. Don't escalate, escalate. Emotional control isn't suppressing feelings, acknowledging without letting them dictate actions. Self-awareness creates leverage. Others can't manipulate you into mistakes. Leverage operates through network effects. Connection, strength, quality, and diversity determines influence. Cialdini's liking and reciprocity. People help those they know, like, feel compelled to return favors. True network leverage isn't just contacts. Understanding network structure, identifying key nodes, cultivating strategic relationships. Some connections offer information access, others endorsement power, others resources. Person who maps networks strategically understands which relationships provide which leverage, activates right connections at right time, not random favors. Deploy network with precision. Information asymmetry is powerful leverage. Person with better information makes better decisions. Leverage comes from controlling information flow, knowing what to share, withhold, reveal, conceal. In negotiations, revealing too soon weakens position. Hold back strategic information until right moment. Shift balance of power. Due diligence process where acquirer uncovers liability. Can disclose strategically, negotiate better price, or uses leverage. Control narrative frame information to serve objectives without deception. Temporal dimension of leverage is overlooked. Timing is everything. Right proposal at right moment creates leverage. Understand organizational context pressures, priorities, deadlines. Department under budgetary pressure. Propose cost-saving measures. Leadership focused on growth. Person who synchronizes proposals with organizational rhythm operates with enhanced leverage. Riding current, not fighting it. Leverage shifts with circumstances. Position to leverage shifts, not be overwhelmed. Operational leverage control over processes and resources. Person who understands how work gets done, identifies bottlenecks, inefficiencies, optimization opportunities, has leverage. Propose changes creating value without additional resources. Powerful in matrix organizations where authority is diffuse. Person who makes things happen without formal position. Understanding workflows, aligning stakeholders, removing obstacles exerts influence exceeding formal authority. Become go-to person because you get results. Creates leverage beyond scope. Ultimately, leverage isn't domination. Creating options, more options, less dependent on single outcome, more freedom to maneuver. Preparation creates leverage, generates alternatives. Understanding creates leverage, reveals possibilities. Relationships create leverage, provide resources. Person with multiple leverage sources isn't vulnerable when path closes. Simply pivot. Understand business power isn't about controlling everything. Having enough leverage points to influence outcomes in your favor, regardless of circumstances.